Oh my gosh, it's that time again. I'm so excited to welcome you to another season of the Girlfriends Chit Chat Show. You know, on this platform, y'all, we talk about life and business, and trust me, everything in between. For you all who do not know me, my name is Amira Bay. I am the host of the Girlfriends Chit Chat Show, and we welcome you to another season. So, anytime you got a question, come on up the thread and let's conversate with us tonight. But with no further ado, you all, let me go ahead and bring in my girlfriends tonight. Come on in here, Miss Leslie Thomas of She Promotes Network. How you doing, girl?
What's up, sister? Hey, everybody.
Look at you, girl.
What's going on? We missed you guys. What's up?
Girl, you know, we keep it going, girl. You know, I love you, girl. I missed you,
and
girl.
I love you more, my girl.
Here. All right, where my other girlfriend at? Come on in, Miss Shauna Price.
Come on in, Shauna.
Where she at? Come on in here, girl. We're going to connect tonight.
Come on, connect.
We're going to connect. Look at you, girl.
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
Oh,
listen,
girl,
I'm so glad to be back.
Y'all, we back again. I'm excited about our Friday nights. You know, girlfriends got to chat it up on Friday night.
Yes, we do.
But I'm so excited, y'all. But we're not gonna take up no time at all because we have a phenomenal guest tonight. You know, it's amazing how, you know, we always have new girlfriends that come and visit us on Friday nights. But tonight, we have an amazing gentleman who's with us this evening. I'm so excited to tell you all about who he is and what he is about. His name is Bobby Robinson, that's right, but he is known as the Influencer Attorney. He helps creative influencers scale their business through solid legal safeguards. That's right, safeguards, y'all. I want y'all to remember that. It is his belief that every influencer should be able to monetize their brands and live the lifestyle that they desire without fear.
Yes.
Fear of what you may say, that it can all be taken away from you due to one bad deal or a failed business relationship. And in the midst of building your brand, you don't have time to be bogged down with paperwork and legal issues. Your job is to create amazing content, engage with your audience and brands. Let him handle your legal issues, he says. As an experienced business and social media attorney, he's helped creative entrepreneurs, athletes, and celebrities scale and protect their brand. Whether it's negotiating an endorsement deal, registering your trademark, or sending a cease and desist letter to someone that infringes on your brand, he's here to advocate for you and protect you so you can focus on being that dynamic creator. Man, what you talking about? I'm loving this already. I'm all excited tonight because I got some questions for him.
Yeah.
So come on in here, Mr. Bobby. Come on in the room.
Woo! Hey. What's up? Family, what's up?
Yeah.
So excited to have you this evening.
You know what? I'm so blessed to be here. Thank y'all so much for welcoming me into the circle, y'all. This is dope. I love it. First session of the year. I'm excited, man. And that I was like, who's she talking about? that's me.
I guess tell us that all the time.
You hear it out loud.
Yeah. You gotta be reminded. I appreciate that. I
really am that bomb.com.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm that dude. I'm that dude. Well, thank y'all so much.
That dude.
That's right. Well, Bobby, we thank you for being with us again. Look, Shauna, like, yes, we're going to do this tonight. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. Going into this new year. Look, going into this new year, y'all, we got to really focus on our business. Okay?
Yes.
And so straight out the gate, I said, you know what? First things first, let's go ahead and bring some legal expertise to the table. Because I think that's one thing that we fall short on. Even myself, I have fallen short in legal aspects of my business, thinking I got time, I can wait, I can take care of it. So, Bobby, I want you to kind of just tell everybody about, you know, I know I kind of went over a little bit, but I want you to kind of let everybody know who you are, what you're about, your service, and everything.
Yeah. So again, thank y'all so much. Y'all are way too gracious, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done. My name is Bobby Robinson, also known as the Influencer Attorney. Located here in Charlotte, North Carolina, but I support clients throughout the country and even do some international work. Most of my clients are from solo mom and pop up to Fortune 100 companies. And I pride myself on really just trying to figure out creatively how to protect my clients in a way that they understand, because most of my clients, I'm usually the first lawyer that they've ever hired before. So oftentimes I have to demystify what it means to work with a lawyer, how you work with a lawyer, when do I need a lawyer, all the sort of questions that you get from, startup companies to companies that are growing and never really thought that they needed legal protection. Because one of the challenges is just because you never got sued don't mean you don't have exposure. Right. And so a lot of times, entrepreneurs wait until something kind of goes sideways before they reach out. So I'm just here excited about the conversation. You three are three amazing powerhouses. So I know that this conversation is going to be valuable.
See, just the fact that he called us a powerhouse, I'm here for all that already.
Yeah. Real talk.
You're definitely gonna give us one early.
Real talk.
I'm just gonna give it out. But Amir, I'll let you lead. I have questions, so definitely go ahead. Let's dive in.
Look, let's go and dive in. So I want to. My first question I'm going to ask you is, what do you think is the one thing that you notice, and even if you don't say startup, more seasoned businesses, that they are lacking? What area, when they come to you, what is one thing you pretty much find consistently that they're not doing in their business?
Just real talk. The first thing is you got to take care of home first. And you have to take care of your internal affairs first. A lot of times we're going to get the bag, we're going to get money, we're going to do all of that. But if your foundation isn't firm, then that's problematic. And particularly when, folks want to bring in partners and they don't document the partnership. And then, of course, inevitably, we go to church together. That's my soror, or we went to high school together. No, we ain't doing none of that. We need to make sure that we document this. No more handshake deals, and I don't want to hear it's too complicated, right? Because what's even more complicated is you getting sued and having to find out how to figure it out later, right? So let's right. So on the back end, it's gonna be even more complicated, right? So I'd rather you sit down with a lawyer, even if you just got to pay for a consult, pay the consult fee, at least to understand the lay of the land of what to expect, right? But just to go into it blindly for the sake of trying to hurry up and get to market or stand up a website or whatever. But regardless, I've seen mom and pops and I've seen very sophisticated businesses just don't have documentation. I mean, nothing.
Right. Now, does that pretty much consist of a contract, let's say, between you and your business partners? Because I think we had talked about maybe a couple of seasons back. I'm always one of those people that I like to create a solution before a problem exists. So for me, it's more or less that a contract of we're going into partnership together. Should this arise, this what happens. So how does that come together? Is that a contract or what does that look like?
Yeah, Leslie, great question. So depending on the type of business structure you have, so most commonly everybody has like an LLC. So with an LLC, you need an operating agreement. And in that operating agreement, it should lay out all the things you just described, right? Who owns what percentage? If this business marriage breaks up, who gets what? Even down to who gets to keep the name, who gets to keep the trademark, who gets to keep the customer data. It's easy to figure it out when everybody happy-go-lucky, right? It's hard to figure it out on the back end when y'all, ticked off at each other. I almost said something else, but if you all ticked off at each other, and it's hard because to get everybody on the same page when you're upset. But when everybody's happy and excited, that's the time to really start thinking about, okay, if this went sideways, we don't anticipate it going side, but if it did, how are we going to handle it?
Right.
And so that is the time to do it. But you're absolutely right. So if you have an LLC, you definitely need an operating agreement, even if it's just you, right? You got to still get in the habit of treating everything as a business, right? So formalize every aspect of your business. And if you have a C Corp, you need a shareholders agreement, you need bylaws and things of that nature, right? So there are different types of agreements depending on the type of structure you have.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. Thanks so much for that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times what happens is we don't know where to start. Because I think that a lot of times we try to figure out what should I do first? What should I do second? So a lot of times people look at it, even if you have formulating a business name and you're trying to trademark, a lot of times people will trademark a name in the States, but they don't seek to look internationally. And a lot of times your name is international. And so we had a guest on our show a while back where her name wasn't taken in the States, but it was taken internationally. And she wanted to buy the name from the young lady. And the lady was like, no, you need to get your own name. You know, it was just like, so what do you do? Am I looking for a name in the States and international, or am I just looking for my name locally here in the States? What would be the best, what would be my best, what would be the best advice you would give me about that?
Yeah, I always tell my clients to, begin with the end in mind. Like, so if you intend to go internationally, then that's the scope of our search, right?
Okay.
And so certainly when we start thinking about trademarks internationally, what markets you want to be in, let's start looking at, so in the United States, we have the United States Patent and Trademark Office. That's the office that we file trademarks and patents. But every country has a similar office. And so when we look at filing international marks, so part of my process, if I know, like, hey, Leslie wants to do business in Canada, Mexico, this place, that place, we have to start searching those markets so that even if it's available here in the US, it may not be available in the UK, right? So we do have to have a very extensive trademark search. And I even do trademark searches even to form businesses, right? Because oftentimes you may create a business name that infringes on someone's trademark, right? So sometimes, my process is I'm always thinking about trademarks all the time. So even when I'm like forming businesses or what have you, you got to think about the trademark implications of that as well. So yes, you're absolutely right. Searching for a business is just bigger than forming a business name, right? So your name is everything, whether it be on your products or your service. And you don't want to limit yourself because you don't know where your business will go. And that's why I started off saying we got to begin with the end in mind. Where are you going? If you only want to stay local, that's cool. We can search on the local level. But just know if you do decide to expand, you could be boxed in if you didn't think bigger from the very onset.
And so
I'm thinking global. Let's go, man.
Let's go.
Let's go, Glo.
Let's go.
Go ahead, Shauna.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Shauna.
We hear you now.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if y'all could hear me. Look at that. Come on,
That's
God.
all good. Let's go.
Listen, so how soon, Bobby, would you say a person should begin the trademark process?
I say ASAP, like as soon as possible. So there are two processes, right? So when you think about trademarks are your commercial identifier, your logo, your name, and it's associated with a product or service, right? A lot of people think that you got to be using it in commerce in order to protect it, but there are two types. So if you intend to use it, meaning you're not using it yet, you can file what is known as a 1B intent to use application. And that basically just holds your place in line, assuming they'll grant you what we know as a notice of allowance or an NOA. That's the intent to use. So if I'm working on a project, for example, I know that I'm like 6 to 12 months out, but I want to make sure the name is protected. I'll file an intent to use application. But if I'm already using it, then I'll file an in-use application, meaning it's in commerce today. And so the moment you know that you're about to use the product in commerce, that's the time you need to file that trademark, right? So the sooner, obviously, the better, because what happens is there's all of these government systems. So, you mentioned like state level. So every state also has a trademark registration process. but the state system don't talk to the federal system. So the federal system don't know if you have a state trademark and vice versa. So it's so important that there's no public record on who owns what. So if you
Right.
started your business, the USPTO office don't know that you were using it first. So if somebody wanted to file it afterwards, they're going to take that first filing, and then it puts you in a position to challenge that application, and that's more money for you, right? So it's important that the moment you know that you're ready to go, get that trademark file. Otherwise, if somebody wants to use that name, you put yourself in a situation to defend it.
Right.
So,
Right.
So do we have to file state and federal or no?
That's a good question. Look at you asking all these.
Come on,
Listen, trademarks
Listen.
intrigue me, y'all. I believe
Listen.
in ownership.
You,
I believe
you
in
got.
ownership.
Hey,
So
we
trademarks intrigue me.
listen. I tell people all the time: stop building brands on anything that you don't own, right? So if you don't own the brand, stop building it. And one of the ways you own it is via trademark. So let me answer your question. So if you have a federal trademark, you're covered throughout all U.S. territories. Right. But if you have a state trademark, you're only protected in your state. But if you have a federal trademark, you don't need a state trademark.
I see how I did that.
Mm-hmm.
I saw how you slid that in.
Yeah.
See how I did that? Because I own that.
There you go.
All of that.
There you go.
It's important. But
look at that.
So I filed federal. I don't have to file state.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason, and that's why we go back to the commerce thing. Commerce is important because the moment you start selling goods and services across state lines, that gives the federal government jurisdiction. So long as you're in,
that makes sense. Okay.
That makes sense now.
So long as you're in your state, there's no need for a federal trademark, because the federal government doesn't have any jurisdiction. But once you start exchanging products and goods across your state lines, then it triggers the opportunity to use it in commerce and get a federal trademark.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, because
that makes a lot of sense.
So
because a lot of times, go ahead, Shauna.
I'm sorry, y'all. You can.
Go ahead, Shauna. Go ahead. She's gonna pull Bobby apart tonight. Go ahead, pull him apart.
Hey, listen. She gonna make me work for this. I'm Shauna. I'm gonna send you an invoice after this. Let me tell you something.
Y'all, like I tell anybody, y'all, if you ain't catching these nuggets tonight, you're gonna miss it. That's all.
I'm catching everything. I'm writing, so if my head bobs, y'all know why. I am truly writing. Look,
I got my pen.
I got the pen. I am in it.
That's what's up. Y'all are amazing.
I really enjoy learning about trademarks and copyrights, because I just think it's important for everybody to know. And I'm glad that you're here, because it kind of gives us some insight regarding the things that we need to be thinking about if we have not yet started the process or are in the process. Things that we can be thinking about that we need to secure our businesses, right? So my question is that if I am a company, I have a business name and I have a logo, which do I trademark first? Because you can't trademark them together. It's separate trademarks, right?
Right.
That is the best practice. So the best practice is to file them separately for two reasons. So 9 times out of 10. So if you file your trademark name and logo on the same application, which you can do, it's not recommended, but you can do it. If you make a material change to your logo and you don't always use the two together, then that impacts your trademark application, right? Okay. So most times we prefer you to file the name first, because your name will likely always be the same, but you may make changes to your logo. But if you make changes to your logo, your name is still valid, right? So we try not to do them together, and just keep in mind however you represent the name in the marketplace, if it's together or separately. So just think about Starbucks. You may see Starbucks' logo by itself without the term or the word Starbucks, or you just may see Starbucks without the logo. They have, I forgot the number of trademarks, but they have a good number of trademarks, and that's why, right? Because it gives you some flexibility on how you use it in the marketplace. But however because if you want to allege infringement and you're not even using it the way you told the USPTO office you were going to use it, it's not infringement.
So if I change, so let's say I trademark.
I should have given a legal disclaimer, but we gonna ride it in here.
Go ahead. No.
This is certainly okay. Yeah, you know, I started. Yeah, so this is definitely not legal advice. This is just for informational purposes only. But definitely consult your own attorney in the process. Okay, all right, we can resume.
Yeah, that's what I love. See, I'm already feeling the movement. I'm like, Bobby, I felt all of that. Let me throw this disclaimer out. Let me let y'all know I'm fine. I love it.
We can resume.
Hey, don't be taking what I'm telling you and running with it now. You supposed to still consult somebody.
Well, I have a question when Shauna finishes.
So if we file them separately, right? And you said we can change, our logo can change. If your logo changes, is that another trademark?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Because it gives a different logo. Yeah. And that's why I tell people. People, if you're not in the name, don't file it with the name. I'm sorry, I wasn't sure if you lost me or not. So I heard.
Yeah, you just first few seconds. You all right?
Okay. But yeah. Hopefully that answers your question, Sean.
Now let me ask a question because I'm gonna tell y'all some. Okay, hold on. Science says okay. So Science, Science. So it says on average, how long does it take to complete the trademark process?
Yeah. So it is a long process. So typically it's about a 9 to 12 month process to get the certificate back, right?
Okay.
Now, we have experienced, or at least the USPTO's office has experienced significant delays. I have trademarks that are well beyond that in terms of waiting. So normally when you file, there's about a 3 to 4 month waiting period before it's assigned to a reviewing attorney. So the first couple months, we're just waiting on them to give it to somebody to review. Right. Then if there are any changes or objections that they may have, they'll issue what is known as an office action. And we have 6 months. And the office action could just be, hey, you selected the wrong class, or we want you to change your description or something along those lines. Or there was somebody already who has a trademark and we can't let you register it because we think it's a likelihood of confusion issue. Now, those are a lot harder to overcome, but those are the type of issues. And until you resolve all of the issues in the office action, then your application proceeds to what is known as opposition publication. And that is an opportunity for people to oppose, to say, Shauna shouldn't use this trademark because blah, blah, blah. Right. So they got 30 days to object. If nobody objects within that 30-day period, then you move to registration. So those are technically all the steps in the process.
Okay.
And all of that kind of lasts about 9 to 12 months from start to finish.
Well, I'm glad she asked.
That was my question. You said earlier, one thing you did say I caught. You can put like a hold on it. What is that? Because you said earlier, it's like you can start the process and it's a hold. So explain that in regards to the duration of time I'm waiting.
Yeah, so the time is still technically the same in terms of you waiting. So the hold or the application type that you're describing, Amira, is what we know as an intent to use application. I intend to use it in the marketplace. I'm not using it yet. And what they'll do is they'll issue you what is known as, say they agree, there are no issues, they'll issue you what is known as a notice of allowance. They're allowing you to use it. You'll have 6 months to start using it, but you can file for extensions up to 5, I believe it's 5 or 6 extensions, to start using it in commerce.
Okay.
So that's that commerce thing again.
Okay.
So when you start using it in commerce, then we have to file what is known as a statement of use. So we just basically the evidence showing that you're using it in commerce. And then once that's accepted, that finishes up the registration process for you. But at least on the front end, your name is reserved and nobody can use it or attempt to register that same or similar brand. Hopefully that helps.
Okay.
Yes.
She said, thank you for the overview. Is that when we can get the TM?
You should always be using, really good question. So what she's describing, see, I'm telling you, I'm gonna send you the invoice. So so what she's describing is for real.
He's not for real.
Let me try to make sure you confirm your email address too.
Johnny, you ain't got me off the words. I'm not used to that.
Listen, don't let Bobby fool y'all. Bobby got my phone number. If he want to send me an invoice,
Bobby, you're fooling you more tonight.
I did not see Bobby Robinson nowhere up in my email asking for no invoice.
Y'all, this ain't free, y'all. Please believe me. Y'all better know this.
This is valuable information.
Yes, it is.
I got it.
He worth every dime. He gonna invoice.
Listen, I got the whole. I'll take care of the whole invoice.
Okay.
I got y'all.
So the TM. So what we do with that?
So those are notifications that you should have on your brand. So the TM for us signifies that you have an unregistered trademark. However, you are still asserting your trademark rights. And most times you're still only protected at a state level. So until your trademark is registered, then you can use the enclosed R. But you should always, on all your products that you are wanting to assert a trademark on, at least at a state level, common law level, you should always have TM on everything.
Oh, that's official. I'm going in now.
You better put the TM on it if you plan on using it because you're already branded. See, that's good information right there. Because I didn't even realize that.
I'm going to be TMing all night.
But I would say the caveat to that is just make sure no one else is already using that brand.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah. So let's just make sure. And you can always go to uspto.gov. That's uspto.gov. And you can do a free or like a basic trademark search just to make sure. But I always order comprehensive, China, you know this. I'm a big proponent of comprehensive trademark search reports. And that's kind of a thing that I will not do a trademark without one. But I will at least do a quick search just to make sure, but then we'll do a more comprehensive one afterwards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Y'all can search the social media platforms too, online, because what you explained earlier, Amira, that happened to me. My first business name was not the Connection Guru, it was the Network Her. And it was a chick in the UK who had the name. And it was weird because when I first searched it, I didn't see anybody with it. So I kept moving forward. And a girlfriend of mine, we were having this conversation. I was riding down the road and she was saying how she knows this lady in California who everything behind her name is her. So what she was telling me is don't be afraid to sell your business name. And I was like, well, darn, do you think she had this name? And I looked it up. I don't know what I put in, but I looked up a different way and it came up and it was trademarked, not by that lady, but by somebody else. When I say I cried like a baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a good point. And so part of that comprehensive search I was just describing, it also looks at those things. It looks at social media handles, domain names, because a lot of times people will use just because the social media handle is available or the domain name is available doesn't mean that somebody hasn't trademarked it, right? And so it's really important that you do your homework, and that's why I like the search reports, because it pulls all that information together for me in one report, so we can make a decision on whether we should move forward or not. Because what a lot of people do, they build brands without doing their homework, and then they get hit with a cease and desist letter and got to start all over again. Yeah, and it happens more often than anything. And some people are willing to take their chance. Like, oh, I'm small, they won't have to come after me. The devil is a lie. They will.
That's right.
I got 3 matters with some big brands bullying some smaller brands over some stuff. So it happens.
They got Bobby.
I mean, and that's everything from the name and the logo and all of that. I see that so often where people are using the same logo. I mean, for the most part, they're using the same marketing, not even necessarily the name itself, but they're using the same material where they've just gone and changed, but the logo itself and the material that it's the exact same. So I'm like, I see it, and surely somebody else sees it. So I'm like, y'all ain't trademark y'all stuff. I see that. So I wonder how that all, comes together.
Well, it comes together in the form of it being like coming to America. You got McDonald's and McDowell's. You got likelihood of confusion, right? And that's a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing, and so you got to be clear about, okay, is my stuff similar? And Leslie, that's a good point too, because I had that issue about a couple months ago when people use the same marketing agencies or design agencies, and they're just doing cookie cutter templates, and nobody really, it's not custom or unique. And they're just giving people the same logos without really, but then those people aren't trademarking it either. And so, you just gotta.
So does that give more credence? Does that give more credence to the fact, because you, like you said, again, you have all of these marketing companies online that says, hey, we'll make you a logo. And then you see everybody's using the same logo. Y'all got to pay that money and get your own logo that's exclusive to you and your brand, because there are about 4 ladies I know on Instagram who are all using the same template. They do nails and they got the same one. So I'm like, man, and this one lady, her business is blowing up, and I'm shocked that she has not trademarked yet, because there are about 4 or 5 others that are using that exact same picture with the gloss and the nails and the rhinestones, so the whole 9 yards. It's worth it to pay somebody to do something that's exclusive to you.
I think that's interesting too, because I think people take that for granted. Let me tell y'all, when I went through the trademark process, I just felt like, I'm so glad somebody else is taking care of this, because all of the legal jargon, all of the extras, when I can pay somebody to do something, I know that they're going to do it in excellence. It makes a whole difference. Right.
Yeah.
But Bobby, what do you do for people? What do you do for people in terms of trademarking if they don't want to go through you?
So I have 2 paths. I like that lob. You threw me a lob. I appreciate that. So I have 2 paths. So for those that have the time, I do offer a DIY trademark course. It's a way for you to file your own trademark. I literally walk you through the steps, step by step, on how to do it. And that course, I believe it's like $149 or something like that. And then, or you can hire me directly to do it, and I'll take care of the whole process for you from start to finish.
Oh yeah, I'm with that right there.
You said $149?
Yeah.
Say it again for the people in the back, because that is an extremely good price for the information that you're getting. They're getting your time still.
Yeah,
and
they still get my time.
A load of information to go step by step.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, I'm gonna tell y'all something.
I want Bobby to do mine. I don't have that kind of patience, Bobby.
That's what I'm gonna say. If you're a type of person that doesn't have that amount of money to spend to hire someone, then all you gotta do is say, "Hey, Bobby offers the trademark DIY," and you can trademark as much as you want, but at the same time, you have to follow step-by-step guidelines that he gives you. Right. And so, how long is this training? Like, how long does the training last?
Yeah, well, they're self-paced, so you can go as fast or as slow as you'd like. But at least by the 3rd module, you'll be ready to go.
Okay.
3rd module, you ready to go ahead and start the process
for $149. Ready to go for $149.
Are people in the chat hearing the $149? Are y'all hearing the $149?
Yeah.
Because that's what you gotta remember now. You gotta remember you're getting a huge deal on DIY. And I know people are not really believing that an attorney is literally giving you a trademark.
Yes.
DIY. And it's the truth, y'all.
And I'm gonna keep it 100, which I was so against for DIY for a very long time. For a very, very long time, because you don't know what you don't know. But at the same time, I felt like I can't say I'm about small business. I can't say I'm about helping you and doing this and doing that if I don't give you the resources. Again, not everybody has $2,500+ to pay for a trademark.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, your brand still needs to be protected. So I felt compelled to change my position on that. And so it is a great course, and I gave it everything I had, and I'm not one of them dudes to hide stuff from you. I literally gave you everything that you needed to get it done.
That's great.
And y'all ain't even got to pay the invoice that I got to pay tonight.
Look,
there you go.
See,
there you go.
Let us know. I got my eyes on it.
You say you got 5 on it?
The link for, if you all want to take advantage of the DIY, the link is in the comments.
Yes.
So you can click the link and be able to see what the program is. And if you do have time, like Bobby says, and you don't want to pay him to do it for you, you can do it yourself. So if you want to take that time out, and that means that you can train. But let me just interject. There are some things you cannot do. So one big example is if you have your own magazine, you have to copyright, correct, Bobby?
Thank you.
That's right.
I was going to ask copyrights next, boo.
Yeah,
boom.
Yeah. We're moving on. So don't think y'all that's just trademark.
Yeah. So technically, there are 5 different types of intellectual property categories that every entrepreneur should be aware of, right? So the first thing is patents. Patents protect inventions, right? You also have trademarks. We talked about that protects commercial impressions and so forth. Copyrights protect your creative expressions, right? So for my clients who are coaches, your curriculum or any paintings or photos or music, right? Anything where you're expressing your creative genius on paper or on some other mechanism, then that's copywritten material, right? So you definitely want to make sure everything is copywritten. The other thing is what we know is trade secrets. So trade secrets is confidential information that you don't want your competitors to know. And so we know trade secrets like the KFC recipe, the Coca-Cola recipe, like stuff like that, right? So when we think about trade secrets, it's like, how do we protect that information? And then the last thing is what we know is name, image, and likeness, right? So how do you protect your right of publicity? So you may hear it with student athletes and name, image, and likeness, and them being able to monetize now, right? The same is true about my clients who you are the brand. So if your face is everywhere, that's your likeness, that's your image, that's your name, that is your intellectual property. And there are famous cases about Vanna White and others, and she would file name, image, and likeness claims all the time. So when I'm negotiating contracts, I think about every aspect of intellectual property that is appropriate. So if you're, my clients who are speakers and they want to use your image in marketing material, but it's like, for how long? How long and what it's going to be, right? So we have to really understand like what all that means and be clear about it, because you don't want to keep them, you're not getting paid no more, but they still promoting you for other events and so forth and so on, right? So it's important to kind of think beyond that. So those are the 5. So trademarks, copyrights, patents, trade secrets, and right of publicity. Those are the 5 forms of intellectual property. So to your point about the magazine, you'll likely have 2 IP protections there, right? You can trademark the name of the magazine, and you'll copyright the contents of the magazine, the images, the copy, the text, and so forth and so on, right? So you'll have 2 forms of IP on one product.
A lot of people create planners. Do you suggest copywriting a planner?
If certain things may not be eligible for copyright. Again, depends on how they design it. Right? If it's a creative expression, if it's very creative on how they laid it out and so forth, then absolutely. But then you can also, if that's part of your product or business, then you could trademark in the class of planners as well. Right? So absolutely.
Well, but at the same time, the person that created it has to relinquish rights to it.
Right.
They have
Well,
to sign. It's
explain.
almost like your photos when you get your photos done and
Oh,
you go to a
absolutely.
photographer. The
Absolutely.
photographer has to
Absolutely.
relinquish rights, and you have to get that in
Absolutely.
writing. So he
Right.
can't,
Well,
or he or she can't come back and sue you for using your own personal photos. Pictures of me,
yeah.
you're gonna sue me over because I'm using something that's me, but I didn't take the photo.
Right.
Let's. Oh boy, look at I love this group. Boy, I tell you, I tell you,
See,
I
look,
tell you.
because I was about
I
to, I
love,
was going there. I'm
I
like, look,
love you.
Look,
So per
So
my
so let's
understanding,
so
go ahead.
let's talk
Go ahead.
about it. Let's talk about it. So copyright, the person, I always say, the person, when it comes to copyright, the person who creates the thing owns the thing, right?
Right.
So if they create the thing, they own the thing. So if they took the picture, they shot the video, they did the beats on the music, whatever, they
Mhm.
own it. So the only way you can get access to the rights and ownership of it is one or two ways. Either you have to have like a work for hire agreement, meaning that I hired you to do this, and in exchange for my compensation, you're going to transfer your rights and ownerships back over to me,
Mhm.
right? If you don't do that rights and transfer scenario, to
Right.
your point, only thing you have at this moment is a license. That's
Wow.
all you
mm,
have
So
because you
is
don't own it.
so is that similar to, and I may be up way out in the water, but my mind went there. So you have Anita Baker who just purchased her masters, or is that
That's right.
similar?
That
Is
is
that the
very
same thing?
similar. That is very
Okay.
similar. So the master is the thing, right? That
Mhm.
so somebody else owned it, and she
Right.
has maybe rights to perform, but that's about it. But she
Right.
doesn't own the master. So when you own the masters, you own full rights to that thing, right? In this
Wow.
case, the master.
Right.
And that's why that's important, right? So otherwise, if you don't own it, I tell people you can't use it. You're going to need
Right.
permission, and
wow.
sometimes that permission comes in the form of a license,
Okay.
right? So you get licenses to go to the movie theater. You get licenses to do various things, right? That's just permission to enter,
Right.
permission to come in. But if you don't do what I
Right.
say you're going to do, I can kick you out, right?
Right.
So the same thing is true with, to your point about the photos. Anytime someone's taking photos of you for a project, you have to be clear, like, will I own it, these images, or will you own the images? Do I
Right.
own the video? Do you own it?
Mhm.
Wow.
And so that's a very, very good point. But you need a work for hire agreement. You need that in your independent contractor agreements and your
Okay.
consultant agreements. Anytime somebody's creating something on your behalf, even though you're paying them, you got to make sure, okay, what are you creating? Okay, we need to make sure that I own that when this engagement is over.
Right.
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 Okay.
Right. Well, and see, and that's a good thing because I am actually going to be launching here very soon. I'm just finishing out courses. I do credit repair. I'm a credit repair coach, but there are things that are exclusive that I do that I know no one
Mhm.
else has done. And I need to make sure that I protect that because I'm going to be launching my own DIY credit repair made simple, sort of what you're doing now, where I'll be able to coach you through it, but it's my material that I'm gathering up. So I'm trying to make sure that I am protecting everything that I have within that course.
Yeah.
So we're almost done. We're not close, but we're getting there. And so as I'm adding all this stuff and I have a person that's assisting me, I'm wanting to make sure that I have, that control in that aspect.
Yeah.
What
Good
if
point. Good
what
point.
happens? So even if they create, let's say they create it, but the creation is your creative design, but maybe you're not. Well, let's just cut to the chase because I don't have time to pussyfoot around. So I have a planner that's going to drop soon, right? Really cool planner. So, and the girl who designed the planner for me, when I told her what I told her what I wanted in the planner. I told her how I kind of wanted the design to look, right? And then she pulled something together. And it's really nice. She still owns that, even though I gave her all the creative direction.
Yeah, if she can assert full ownership, she can certainly assert that she's a co-author of the work.
That's right.
Right. So that's just like you have two musicians who work on a song together. They co-authored the song. That's the same thing, right?
That's
So
right.
so when you start thinking about that, just make sure that you, again, you know, get full control of that, those plans. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of sad to say it that way, that you have to round up everybody and say, I need a letter from you. I need a letter from you. It's just one of those things you have to do.
Right.
You know, and it's just business. That's how you have to kind of look at
And
it.
the other thing about copyright is, you know, unlike some other intellectual property, the moment the thing is created, that's when the copyright attaches. So the moment I take that picture, it's already protected by copyright. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to go do anything extra. What I always recommend is you still, in order to sue someone for copyright infringement, you have to have a registered copyright. So the registration process is very simple and easy. You go to copyright.gov and get all your content copywritten. And the application fees are fairly inexpensive, like between $60 and $80, depending on what you're trying to copyright. But that's the second step. So if you want to just make sure if anybody infringes, right, and you want to take action against that person,
right,
the only way you can have standing in court, meaning the only way you can bring the action in court, is that you have to have a registered copyright.
Okay.
But the public policy behind that, again, now you have a repository, you have a database where if you had done your homework, you would have knew that I owned it.
right.
So that's the thing. So you always want to make sure that you do. And there are sometimes people don't want to register for whatever reason, and they'll treat it as a trade secret, because I don't want to put it on a public database and then everybody know my business or they know what I have, right? So sometimes we got to have those conversations with our client in that regard. Hopefully that answered the question.
Answered it.
Look,
I'm already at needing them tips now.
Look, see, now I'm gonna tell y'all something. I told y'all I was gonna bring somebody.
You brought it.
I told y'all I was gonna bring you somebody, y'all, who was gonna actually start the new year off right for you. You know, he deposited some amazing nuggets tonight. He gave you some great information. If you missed it, go back and watch it again, so you can make your notes and get everything written down. Yes. Take advantage of the DIY program he's got, y'all. If you don't want to hire me, say, hey, I want to try to do it myself. Go ahead and take advantage of it. The link is in the comments. You can go ahead and purchase the DIY if that's what you want to do. But if you seek to go even further and you say, hey, I don't want to do it, definitely take advantage of Bobby's services.
Hey,
Bobby, tell everybody where they can contact you at all. Thank you, Sunset. Sunset said that was rich tonight.
All right. I'm so glad they are enjoying the discussion.
Thanks, Sonia.
So yeah, you guys can follow me. I'm primarily active on Instagram and Twitter. So at the influencer ATTY, or you can go to my website, which they so richly just displayed on the screen here. And so you can schedule time. I do offer free discovery calls. So if you do want to just check in with me, you know,
I'm discovering.
It's all good. Hey, Leslie, let's just discover together. That's what we go.
I'm here for it.
Look, y'all, I want you to understand something is that if you're ready to take your business to the next level, don't sleep on getting your stuff trademarked. Your girl over here did it. You know what I'm saying? So I got to get my act together. I got to use Bobby this year. You know, that's going to just be that investment, y'all.
It is an investment.
You got to make it in your business, y'all.
It's definitely worth the investment.
It's definitely worth it.
It is, y'all.
We take that part for granted. It's worth the investment. We're talking about trademarks last for it's legacy ownership. So
it's legacy ownership.
This money is a drop in the bucket when you're talking about your legacy.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm not
that's power. No, but that's powerful because, you know, we'll go out and buy all kind of stuff. You know, we won't invest in what we actually need to invest in. And then when it's too late, it's like, I didn't see the value in that, you know.
Right.
But if you value your business, if you value your legacy, right, in terms of what you're trying to build, then you'll make the appropriate investments up front.
That's right.
I tell people all the time, it may cost you something on the front end, but I tell you one thing, I would hate to have to defend a lawsuit on the back end because you didn't do it the right way.
That's
right. So let's just get it done. And I'm so appreciative of you guys.
We want you back though, because I just don't feel like I got enough. I'm just an email away. Yeah.
It's called a discovery call. It's called a discovery call.
No, forget the discovery call. He needs to be like a total contributor. Like he pops in, every few weeks.
Oh, like Sarah does.
Oh, like yes, you need your influencer.
Yeah, you need it. Hey, Les was like, she know what she was getting. Now she knows.
When I tell you Bobby Good, I was like, boom, Bobby. But we wakes you up to realize that where you want to start.
Yeah.
You got a whole lot going on. So, it's time to get it all fixed. Now, granted, you can't do it all, y'all, at one time. Financially, everybody can't. But figure out let Bobby tell you what he feels like would be the best direction for you to go. That's the point. That's the point of having someone to do, a consult with, is for him to guide you.
Right.
Let his expertise guide you in the right direction, because you don't know. I'm not a lawyer. That's not my lane of expertise.
No.
So schedule the discovery call, y'all. Figure out where you want to be in your business. Connect with Bobby. Bobby,
I'm gonna be stalking Bobby. Look, I know you're a lawyer and everything, but don't sue me because I'm stalking. But I will be seriously stalking you, Bobby. Don't be talking about I don't know who that is.
No, not at all.
These are characteristics.
Hey, just little characteristics. Hey, we'll get it taken care of. We'll get it taken care of.
Go.
Yeah, likewise.
Let's schedule your consult. Okay, just schedule your consult.
Yeah, schedule the consult. The consult is absolutely worth it.
It is. It is.
He's our new friend, y'all. Thanks.
Yeah. Look, you need a friend like that in your corner, y'all. Remember that. But you all, as always, we always thank you all for being a part of Girlfriends Chit Chat.
Yeah.
But as you always know, you all, I have just officially launched the Girlfriends magazine. I am so excited and so elated to have Mr. Kaylin Carr, who is on the cover of my first issue of my Girlfriends magazine. We are so excited about the launch that'll be coming up on January 22nd. If you would love to be a part of the event, you can go to our website, www.girlfriendschitchat.com. And there you can find the link to be able to join us here in Charlotte, North Carolina, to be a part of this amazing event. We're so excited. We're going to have so much fun. And I thank you all. If you would love to also be on the Girlfriends Chit Chat show this season, please also go to www.girlfriendschitchat.com. And we would love to have you on our show. Yeah. And as always, I always say, y'all, good things always have to come to an end. But we'll see you here again next Friday. Hey, thank you so much for being with us this evening. Thank you, Sarah, as well.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to seeing you all again next Friday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You all have a wonderful weekend. You all have a great one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, guys.
Take care.